A very good afternoon to everyone. I take this opportunity first to introduce myself. I'm Major General V.N. Chaturvedi. I'm the Secretary General of Vidya Mandir Society. We have three schools and a higher education institute with us. The three schools that we have are Birla High School, Moira Street, Kolkata, Birla High School, Mukundapur, Kolkata, and Sushila Birla Girls School, Moira Street, Kolkata. The Institute of Higher Learning that we have, the J.D. Birla Institute, the only college to be affiliated with the Jadavpur University. I have had some exposure and experience in the field of education. I started my career as a school teacher, graduated to be a university lecturer, and then went on to join the Army Educational Corps of the Indian Army, where I served 35 years and attained the rank of a Major General on retirement. There's one thing which has always bothered my mind is the proliferation of education in India. I mean, if we take our minds back to the independence and compare ourselves with the other countries which had recently started on the path of education, then we will find that we have somewhat digressed because our focus has more been on creating institutes of higher learning, and much later did the literacy and the education program part for imparting school education started. It, the school education per se has started in this country has been something which is related to literacy primarily. Initially, I think I'm quite fortunate to have been brought up in the initial educational system which existed in the country, and I have gone through the paces then, and I am now still being with the field of education. I see the changes that have come about in education, but so have the changes come about in the country. When 50 years, 60 years back, education system was the same for everyone. But in today's India, we have a different education system for the people who can afford private education, and a totally different systems of education for those who cannot afford private education. What we have the need of the hour for today is an education system universally acceptable to all and universally applicable to all, focusing on analytical minds, empathy, critical thinking, introduction and knowledge of Indian values and culture, and more so global understanding. That's something which relates quite a lot and draws inspiration from the new education policy. And one thing which should be the order of the day is transdisciplinary learning. That is something which we as a society in India need to focus on, because if you see, there is a great disconnect between the school education system and the education system of higher learning. What the schools are producing and what the institutes of higher learning are producing has a great disconnect. And what results is in the product which is not ready for the future. Today's requirement is having a contemporary functioning force, a workforce which can relate to the requirements of the day. And the requirements of the day are not compartmentalized, straight jacketed subject studies, but a knowledge of all the subjects is mandatory. Somebody who does his engineering, mechanical engineering or electronics engineering, also needs to know about history, also needs to know about economics, also needs to know about marketing. And if you don't believe me, ask the industry leaders, they will bear me out that this is the kind of a person that they are looking for. Today, multinational companies are not hiring straight jacketed subject specialists. Interestingly, today's multinationals are going in for, or quite a few of them, students who are specialized in humanities, because they feel that they can train them to obtain and attain whatever levels of competence and proficiency that they want. And to their thinking, the straitjacketing of specialized subjects, polarizes the mind of the young child. Now, in this kind of a changing scenario, we need to evaluate, do we need those many institutes of higher learning that we have today, which produces uh, graduates and postgraduates by the thousands, and who knows where they are going to find a job which is going to satisfy their white collar requirements. The issue is that we are creating a workforce for which we do not have sufficient employment opportunities. I mean, there have been numerous cases where the post of a peon advertised by a government agency has drawn applications from postgraduates and PhDs, because they have pursued almost mindless studies, not knowing where they wish to go. And I think it is the responsibility of the education system to create that opportunity to make people understand where they need to go. So today we need to sit back and ask ourselves the question whether we need universities or we need industrial training institutes. I think more ITIs are going to create a more skilled workforce than more universities. Not taking away anything from the importance of universities, great institutions for research work, great institutions for taking the society forward at the intellectual level. But the kind of activity that is happening and the numbers that we are dealing in does not justify and cannot justify the effort that is required to have a brilliant higher education system. The need of the hour today is having an education system which is correlated between the school and the post school education, and that correlation has to have a format where skills are developed for those who need the skills for employment, and intellect is developed for those who have the potential to have a developed intellect. I think a great food for thought that I had to offer. I'm quite sure we will like to have the feedback of people who feel strongly about improving the education system in the country. Thank you.